I have to tell someone what happened, exactly how I remember it, because I think I'm the only one who does. I was all alone in the apartment. My roommate, Mark, was visiting his parents upstate for the weekend. And I remember noticing how quiet the city was that night. It wasn't a peaceful kind of quiet, though. It was this empty, expectant stillness. Like the air itself was holding its breath. And then, at exactly 11:30 p.m., the whole world just stopped. The very first thing I noticed was the soft hum of my fridge. It just died. It was an absence of sound that was somehow so much louder than the noise it replaced. Then the lamp in the living room, it flickered once, then twice, like this weak, dying pulse. And then my apartment was plunged into this darkness that was so complete, so thick, it honestly felt like I could reach out and touch it. I went to the window, fumbling for my phone to use as a flashlight, and I saw that the entire street was gone. The whole city? No streetlights, no porch lights, not a single headlight. Just a void where a city was supposed to be. The silence was the worst part. It wasn't peaceful at all. It was this heavy, suffocating pressure, just pressing in from all sides. It's the kind of absolute quiet that, well, it makes you certain you're not alone. My heart was just hammering against my ribs, but I had to see, so I crept out onto the porch. The air was cold, completely dead still. I swept the narrow beam of my phone's flashlight across the street, and that's when it caught something. Just a flicker of movement, deep in the shadows of my neighbor's yard. They weren't people. Not really. They move like puppets on invisible strings, just gliding through the shadows with this purpose I couldn't possibly understand. A terrible, silent grace. I scrambled back inside, my hand shaking so bad I could barely lock the door. But that feeling of being watched, it followed me. And then the sounds began. A soft, deliberate tapping at the window, and whispers. Whispers that seemed to come from the empty rooms of my own apartment. The night just stretched on for an eternity. That tapping at the window, it never stopped. By 3 in the morning, I just couldn't take it anymore. I peeled back the edge of the curtain just a tiny bit and looked out. And I saw it. A lone, tall figure, standing perfectly still under this sickly yellow glow, the only street lamp still working on the entire block. Just standing there, watching my building. The next morning, the power just flickered back on, like nothing ever happened. I stumbled outside and saw my neighbor, Mr. Henderson, getting his newspaper. I asked him, Did you see anything strange last night during the blackout? He just gave me this confused look. Blackout? I slept like a log, kid. Every single person said the same thing. I really tried to tell myself I was crazy, that I was just exhausted and my mind had played some horrible trick on me. But that night, that's when the real horror began. It wasn't just my imagination. It knew I had been awake. It woke me from this restless, awful sleep, a single vibration on my nightstand. But there was no notification, no call, no message. Just the one buzz. I hadn't touched it. The screen was just on, and it was playing this grainy, dark video. My breath caught in my throat when I realized what I was looking at. It was my street, from last night, during the blackout. And there it was, standing under that one working street lamp again. The same tall figure in that long, dark coat. But this time it wasn't at the end of the block. This time it was standing right at the edge of my lawn. The second the video ended, just cut to black, I heard footsteps in the hallway right outside of my apartment. They stopped, right at my door. And then that sound. 3 soft, distinct knocks. The voice, it was so quiet, so calm, almost conversational. And it was coming from just inches away, on the other side of that door. It wasn't angry, it was just stating a fact. And I just stood there, completely frozen. I don't think I was even breathing. After that, I started documenting everything. I needed proof I wasn't losing my mind. On the 4th night, I set up my phone camera, aimed it at my bedroom door, and I tried to sleep. In the morning, I watched the footage. and I saw what happens while the rest of the world is dreaming. Every single night, it was the same precise, terrifying pattern, a ritual. The handle turns, the light out in the hall flickers once, and my door just creaks open. The thing that came into my room was too tall. It was too tall to fit properly through the doorframe. It had to stoop. And where its face should have been, there was just smooth, pale skin. No eyes, no nose, no mouth, nothing. It just stood over my bed, watching me. That was it. That was the moment I knew I had to get out. I packed a single bag, didn't tell a soul where I was going, and I just drove. I left the city and every single thing I knew behind me. I stopped at this small, rundown motel hours and hours away, really in the middle of nowhere. I thought, I prayed, that I had finally gotten away, that I was finally safe. But at 3:17 in the morning, the motel power cut out. Every light went dark, except for one, the single street lamp in the empty parking lot. And when I looked out the window, I saw a very familiar scene. Someone was waiting for me right beneath the light. I realized then that I never escaped. I was just led to the next location. There is no running from this, because I was awake when I was supposed to be asleep. And now I'm the only one they can see.